What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan from Cortex Labs, livecortex.com, where we talk about performance optimization from the perspective of the brain and primarily using nootropics, as well as energy and hormonal optimization from the perspective of optimizing testosterone. Thank you so much for being with me. I want to just start off making a statement, and then let's break down some practical applications about how you can be more of a goal-pursuing, hard-charging individual in life. And that statement is the following. If you are not an aggressive, hard-charging, goal-pursuing individual that is targeting upward mobility in every facet of your life, whether it's the professional sector or your business, or even the idea that maybe you could do something different or start a company or get a promotion somewhere. You're not pursuing having a better body, working out in the gym. You're not pursuing learning more and acquiring more skills. Generally just getting better in life. If you are not doing that, it may not be that you're a lazy shithead. Like, you may not have a cognitive or intellectual or ideological or philosophical deficiency that is preventing you from killing it in life. You may, in fact, just have shitty energy, okay? Now look, let's just dial this back a little bit. So that's the statement that I want to make. If you're not aggressive at pursuing what you want in your life and you think dude, I'm just a lazy shithead, it's probably not true. It is probably that if you had the energy to do so, that would drive the confidence to do so, drive the brain function for you to, get active in life, pursuing what you actually wanted. You would be more active in pursuing what you want in life. So let me just break a couple things down, right? I think, look, a couple things, but to keep it simple, two things drive whether or not a person is going to be uber productive in life. Whether a man is going to be hard charging and goal pursuing and wanting to get stuff done and always shooting for next echelons in their lives. Number one is philosophy and ideology and your history, the things that are kind of cognitive and psychological, right? Like maybe you had a really hard life and your parents were subpar individuals and they did not raise you right, and they were neglective or, God forbid, abusive or something to this nature. And then you basically learned from that, I want to be the complete opposite of how my parents were, and that drives me to be successful in life, right? That's just one example of your makeup of thinking driving you to want to be successful. Maybe you had a relatively good upbringing, and in fact, your role models, like your dad and your mom and your uncle and their whole family and their friend circle went to Cornell or something, some prestigious university, and that drives you to want to be successful, right? There's all these kinds of things that mold a person into being the type of person that will, regardless, shoot for higher echelons in their lives. So there's different things, right? And so those are kind of the cognitive, intellectual, and psychological reasons that drive you to want to be successful. But then there's the energy part of it, and that's predominantly what I want to talk about here. Again, saying that if you're not actively, hard-chargingly pursuing your goals in an unyielding manner, like an aggressive motherfucker, it's probably not because you're lazy. Sure, maybe you could use some help on the mindset side, the intellectual, psychological, cognitive stuff, but probably if you increased your energy and increased brain performance, you would much more quickly and much more aggressively target the stuff that you want to have happen in your life. That it's not that you have this deficiency and just you're a lazy shithead. It's that your energy sucks. And if you had better energy, you would be a completely different person around your goals. So let's just kind of talk about the tenets of energy, right? So that's the major point I want to get across to you. Don't think of yourself as lazy and inadequate and inept when you're just really not taking action on your body or your goals or your life. Think of yourself as, I need to improve the hell out of my energy. And if I do that, then I'm going to be a lot more productive, and that will show me that, in fact, I'm not a loser. I'm actually somebody who has got a lot of good stuff going on up here. And there's a lot of stuff that I could do so long as I felt strong enough to go and do it. Let's talk about some of the tenets of energy as males, right? Let's just strictly talk about guys in this perspective. Because women, all kinds of things drive your energy, and it's a different system. So look, number one, what you're putting into your body is hugely important in terms of how you end up functioning. It's like garbage in, garbage out, really, really good stuff in, really, really good stuff out. So if you're You know, if your food that you're consuming on a pretty regular basis is non-nutrient dense whole foods, like it's just, you know, kind of processed stuff that you found out in the wild and like for lunch or something, instead of having like Tupperware where you've made like, you know, some beef, a sweet potato, and some vegetables, and that you bring that with you to work or something, like you're getting food on the go, like from Subway, God forbid, or somewhere else. And that food is just laden with a bunch of crap. Half of it isn't actual real food. There's a lot of preservatory chemicals in some of those foods, possibly environmental estrogens in those foods that are binding to your own estrogen receptors and actually making you think you have estrogen, therefore getting an estrogenic response. And a host of other things, like causing oxidative damage, but importantly, not giving you nutrients and phytochemicals to reduce oxidative stress and make you feel good and replenish your body's vitamins and minerals and make you actually have energy, then like that is something that has to change in order for you to have good energy, to be a hard charging, goal pursuing individual in life. Booze, we talk about this a lot, right? There's no question, right, that booze, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is a marked reduction in free testosterone levels. But on the cognitive side, depletion of magnesium and B vitamins. If you're drinking booze even a little bit regularly, 2 drinks a night, even if it's a drink a night, that's hindering your progress, okay? Especially if you're having like these 3 to 6 drink kind of episodes throughout the week, or once every couple weeks or something, but you drink somewhat less frequent, but still in between. You gotta fucking stop that shit, man. If you're gonna be pursuing goals in life and wanting to be aggressively achieving things in sort of a constant upward mobility, where even though life does zigzag like this and there are ebbs and flows in terms of productivity and outcome creation, but largely your trajectory is upward, you can't be doing things like drinking booze consistently. You just cannot get away with it. In the world of entrepreneurship, and being uber productive, like let me just assure you that I know no one in this world that is successful and hard charging and constantly has energy that drinks a lot. Literally no one. And if there is, it's people that have maybe already achieved success and they've gone down that route and it's actually tearing them apart. And sooner or later, they're going to lose everything. Testosterone, right? Getting right to some of the stuff that I know you guys want to hear about. I can tell you, you know, having just recently run my natural testosterone protocol, which is in the testosterone superclass. I mean, it is dense, like it is a lot of compounds, and it's very, very aggressively targeting both total tests, the conversion to free test, the management of estradiol, the management of prolactin. When you raise your testosterone numbers, and you're also targeting downstream how it interacts with the serum in a controlled kind of strategic manner, you will feel like a different man. Your energy to do things is going to be peak. Your energy to go to the gym is going to be peak. Your capacity to exercise, because you have more of that get up and go in you to do so, is going to be larger. And that's going to create, in and of itself, more additional energy that you have cognitively. You're going to be raising brain-derived neurotrophic factor. You're going to put yourself in a place where it's a lot easier to be productive and want to pursue your goals. You'll be a lot more creative, a lot more outspoken, more than likely a lot more verbally fluent. Your brain is just going to work a lot better as a result of that cascade. But it started from raising testosterone. And by the way, I want to emphasize, I'm just trying to give you guys as many nuggets as possible here, your labs don't mean a whole lot. They do and they sort of don't, right? I mean, your total testosterone, people look at that number and go, okay, you know, it's within range, call it 600 to 900 nanograms per deciliter. And even if it's at 950, but your free test isn't that high, you've got to do some optimization there. But if your numbers are at like 540, doc's certainly not going to put you on TRT or HRT. And they wouldn't even suggest that. But your numbers should be higher. Maybe optimally, you're gonna function better at the 750 or the 800 range. You just really never know, right? Guys' sweet spots are different, and testosterone optimization is something that we do both from a consulting perspective, and we've got the testosterone superclass, which will show you how to go at it alone. So please check those products out if you're a guy that is interested in raising tests, because it'll absolutely change your life. Especially if you're used to walking around with lower levels of testosterone and you just haven't had an idea of that, like you haven't ran labs in a long time and you kind of just don't know, but you're like fatigued, your energy is crap, your cognition is sort of crappy because of it, and then you start raising tests, like it is a completely different ballgame. It'll put you in a place where like your inclination to be productive and to execute on work and the growth of yourself and your life is like substantially better. So test. Don't not think about test, okay? In line with this whole idea of like, you may not be a loser, you just need to improve your energy. Testosterone is a huge part of that. Can I please be super frank with you? Please fucking raise your test, guys. Lastly, brain performance. I mean, that is why I'm so, emphatic about nootropics, because the right combinations cycled appropriately. This is why you guys have to get Nootropics Masterclass. You've got to get Nootropics God Course, right? If you really want to surgically be using these chemicals, I created the methodology for it. The methodology to use them correctly, which I discovered, is not out there, right? Using nootropics in a way which like everybody else tells you to use nootropics, or that Reddit is saying to use nootropics, whatever is out there, like, is gonna land you in burnout quickly. It's gonna land you in inconsistent results with stacks very, very quickly. You're certainly not gonna be in a place where you're performing at high capacity consistently, because the information just isn't out there. So that's why you got to get those courses, or have us consult you on how to use nootropics correctly. But like, wow, the Cortex nootropic stack, right? You get a couple capsules of Cortex in you and drink some coffee, because the synergy there is really, really amazing. It'll turn you into a different person for the ensuing 4 to 6 hours. As far as your output and productivity goes, you have a nootropic stack that is like, that you've tailored yourself. You took some modafinil at perhaps a 75 milligram dose. You've got oxiracetam, which is an acetylcholine modifying, AMPA receptor modifying nootropic compound at like 500 milligrams. You've got a choline source like citicholine at 50 to 75 milligrams, creating more brain usable acetylcholine. That's a memory and focus chemical right there. Elevating noradrenaline, which will give you more alertness and give you more of that sort of get up and go energy. And then you've got like theobromine, which is a kind of a caffeine analog, which stimulates your brain and gives you energy at like 50 milligrams or something. Maybe a little L-theanine, a calming amino acid, in 50 to 100 milligrams to balance things out. It kind of gets you in a nice focused flow. You're going to be a different person, right? Your energy and performance is going to be different. That's why I'm so emphatic about nootropics. So like, just look at those 3 things. That's what I would have you leave this video with, right? Look at the food that you're consuming and consume nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, real food. And stop skimping and stop being lazy, like because you're out and you're on the go or whatever, and you're not making food and bringing it in Tupperware containers. Like, that's what you should be doing if you're having to be out. Don't go to the local sandwich shop or whatever and just eat crap for lunch. You got to be eating real food. Eat real food. Do the extra work. Go on Mediterranean for a while. I've been on Mediterranean pretty much for the last like 8 months or something, when I have some deviations here and there, but it has totally changed my energy, man. So diet, hugely important. Stop boozing, right? Just get the shit out of the mix. If you're gonna booze like once a week or twice a week, you have a glass of wine or a shot of this or a beer or whatever, like, fine. But do not do it consistently, and do not binge drink, and do not drink large quantities of alcohol, like in any sitting. It is not good for you as a man, and in terms of your energy, and certainly as it relates to your testosterone, in any capacity. Whatever about social lubrication. If you need social lubrication, you've got to get your testosterone numbers up, which is a great segue to testosterone, okay? If you're not hard charging, pursuing your goals, and moving toward what you want in life, it may not be that you're a loser. It may be that you need to improve your energy, and testosterone is a huge part of that. Huge part. Okay, so if you're a guy that's got to raise his test, and you know you need to raise your test, and the only way that you know that you need to raise your test is you have blood work that shows you what your total test and your free testosterone and your estradiol are, then you should do one of 2 things. You should either go talk to your doctor and see what they think if your numbers are exceptionally low, or you should get the testosterone superclass, which will teach you how to raise your testosterone by yourself. If you want to go at it alone, right, and you want to execute some pretty heavy protocols that are targeted to raise testosterone, that depending on which one you pick, meaning which one is right for you, the course lays that out, you will raise your test. I'm so confident about it, like, there's no question. We're not talking about taking this supplement or that supplement. We're talking about highly, highly advanced protocols in the testosterone superclass. So go get it, livecortex.com, livecortex.com. I'll even give you a coupon code. The coupon code 15NOW, 15NOW, will reduce the price by 15%. But whatever, maybe you go on TRT. Like, you know, I mean, maybe you execute some other protocol. Who knows? Maybe you start hacking gonadotropins. You start raising your testosterone, it's gonna change how you function as a guy. And it'll put you in a place where your energy is totally different. And instead of you thinking, oh, I'm just a lazy, inadequate dude, and that's why I'm not pursuing my goals, actually it was your testosterone. And when you start raising it, you're a different man. And then again, lastly, brain performance. Nootropics with the right strategically formulated stacks, which again are based on methodology that you need to be using in order to formulate and adjust and finalize your nootropic stacks. You got all these other things straight, and then you add nootropics on top of that, then your brain is really performing at an epic level. And it's like, not only are you pursuing your goals and, you know, starting the new company, or, you know, shooting for promotion at work, or like whatever it is that you're into, like moving toward that, but your idea of what else you can do changes. You're like, wait a minute, now that I feel better and my brain is functioning awesome, like what else is actually possible for me? Like the bottom line is like, you're not lazy, and you're not just like a useless, inept shithead. You just feel bad. Like, and when you start feeling good, feeling functional, and feeling energized, it'll be a different level of output toward what you want in your life. And that's gonna help your psychology. Then you're not gonna be sitting there thinking like, I am a lazy, inadequate, inept dude that is just like, oh, I guess this is my life. I'm not pursuing goals, it's just how I am, it's how it's gonna be. It doesn't have to be that way. And maybe you're not that person. Maybe you do have a lot of great stuff up there. Maybe like you do have the principles and the philosophy and the cognitive efficacy and the intellectual capacity to be really effective in life. You just need the energy, right? So I would leave you to focus on that. For most guys that aren't getting stuff done in life and that aren't feeling great and that aren't hard charging toward what they want, it is less likely that you're just a lazy idiot, and more likely that you need to optimize energy. And when you do, it will change how you pursue goals. So I mentioned some products in this video. The first of them is the Cortex nootropic stack. This is a dopamine-centered stack and acetylcholine-centered stack and an energy-producing stack that you absolutely, if you're a guy, have to have on the roster. You've got to have it next to you, okay? This stuff is strong. It is powerful. It will turn on brain energy if you respond to it, and most people that get the stack do. Not everybody does, just as a disclaimer, but most people respond pretty well to Cortex. I mean, we're taking uridine monophosphate, CDP choline, two powerful nootropics that are working on together neurogenesis, the spawning of new neurons, the creation, the elevation really of the neurotransmitter dopamine, the modification, the density opening of dopamine receptors, the elevation of noradrenaline, the creation of more brain usable acetylcholine, which is a focused neurotransmitter, the creation of CAMP, this is actual brain energy with artichoke extract, the formulation or the strengthening of new axons and dendrites. These are branches between neurons that allow information to travel between neurons. With Bacopa, with the artichoke extract, we have a synergistic, very powerful stack. Here's like the influencer. Take Cortex, 2 capsules of Cortex, and drink a cup of coffee. And you tell me that your brain isn't on fire and you want to function really well. Buy the Cortex stack at livecortex.com. The best way for you to get the stack is to get it on subscription. Get it shipped to your doorstep every 30 days. Honestly, that's the best way to use the stack, right? Because it's always there. You always want to have that stack around. Cortex isn't the only nootropic that's out there, and you should be switching between, different nootropic stacks. So the best courses to get that are stack ridden would be the Nootropics Masterclass and the Nootropics God course. Okay, these are 2 nootropics courses that give you a ton of stacks to show you a lot of diversity on how to actually use nootropics correctly, but woven in are principles that show you at the highest levels of neurohacking and biohacking how to strategically and surgically and intelligently be putting these compounds together in what doses to get really, really good results, okay? So get both of those courses if you're smart, livecortex.com. If you need my help with any of this stuff, whether it's energy or whether it is testosterone or whether it is nootropics or anything else in between, book a consultation with me. That's one of the main things that we do that I really truly love doing, because I'm like a black box of information. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've got answers to stuff that would probably take you 2.5, 3 years to figure out. maybe less, maybe even more, that we could figure out in a 25-minute call, that we could figure out in an hour phone call, right? That we could handle ongoingly doing some of the ongoing consulting programs that we have at livecortex.com. So please go check them out on the consulting tab of the menu. There's a lot of options and a lot of stuff that we can do. Thank you so much for being with me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you just came here, or if you're not even subscribed yet. Make sure you hit the subscription button and the bell, because apparently you have to hit subscribe and the bell to get notified of everything that we do, because we are pumping out content like mad people these days. At least 2 videos a week, usually more, live streams galore, and so much more really, really epic documentary style content to come soon. It's been a pleasure being with you. Please heed my advice. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll chat with you soon.